Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and we're back on with the MPI. So, they're going to be a good few episodes with this car over the next few weeks. I'm going to try and get as much as I can done, mainly because I want the car to get off and go off the paint, because you know it's summer, get the car painted is a really nice thing to build over the winter. So what we've got to do now is go through some new panels. They've arrived, probably see them here, and just work out a bit of a game plan of how I'm going to tackle this. So let's just get stuck into it. Before we get into a game plan, I just wanted to thank all the new subscribers we've got. So recently I've had quite a nice flurry of subscribers, so welcome to the channel. If you're here for your classic minis, there is so many playlists of all kind of different genres. Like you've got a budget rebuild, which is one of my favourite cars I've ever built. To the back of the camera there, it's not in shot, there's a Clubman estate that we just do maintenance on that really should be out on the road now. My mini sidewalk, and etc, etc. There's quite a bit of stuff going on, but the biggest one is the 89 recently. That's recently got over the hurdle of paint, and we're building that up over the winter, so it's going to be quite fun. But this car, if you're new to the channel, this car belongs to my friend Pete Mates. It's his dad's car, and over lockdown we did quite a bit of work on it, and then it went back off to have the back done, and it didn't get done, so it's back. But it's not to worry, we will get it done as best as we possibly can. Let's just get stuck into it. But I wanted to welcome you all. While you're there, if you want to stick around or if you want to donate, there's a Patreon and there's the YouTube membership. It is literally like £1 a month, and it massively helps me out. It gets me down here a lot more, and it pays for a few bits and bobs to the channel. So if you wouldn't be so generous, go check that out. Right, here we are. So this is a late 90s, I'm not too sure, it's an S-Reg, I think it's like a 97, 98. Mini Sportspack basically. So this is in Hawaiian blue, which is a lovely, lovely shade of colour. But at the back, if you caught the last episode, there's a lot more rust than we expected. It's all gone around here. That was what I was not expecting. It all seems quite solid around here, to be fair, but that needs addressing. And I don't know if that's going to go through, but we will address that as well. But in this episode, what I want to do is I want to get rid of these panels. So this back panel's going. I'm not going to sit here cutting drilling spot welds out, mainly because the only ones to drill out is a handful up here, then that's all corroded, that's all corroded, and then that's all corroded. So really I can only drill like 5 out. So what I'm going to do is cut the bulk of it all away with a grinder, get it all out of my way so I can get in. When I get up to that repair up there, get into this repair, sort the boot out, and then build my way back out. You with me? Build my way back out. So that's how we're going to work it. That's how my head's working, and that's how it's going to go. So new panels. So these panels are available on the Minimine website. They stock Heritage and Magnum panels, so go check out the new website. But on here we've got the full back panel, and then we've got a boot floor repair, a Heritage valance. These closures are Heritage, and Pete Mate already had them, so we didn't have to buy them, but they've been kicking around for a little while. So we've got all the panels really to basically replace the back of this car. There's a few bits and pieces that do need addressing. So the later cars have this for the immobilizer, the sensor that goes on there for the alarm system basically. So that is a few spot welds and a bracket, I think. Yeah, it's a bracket. So we need to drill that out, and we need to attach that to the new panel because none of the new panels come with that. And yeah, and go from there. But everything else is just interchangeable and it can swap out. You will notice the car is up on stands. That is purely so I can get under it. I have to admit, I don't like working like this. You get covered in sparks and that sort of stuff. But this is a repair, not, you know, I'm not doing a full restoration on this car. I kind of have done most of the shell, but this is the back panel repair. Let's jibber jabber, let's get going. So I'm gonna get set up, and like I say, I'm just gonna cut the bulk of it out. I'm gonna cut out all the rot, and then we'll see what horrors we're left with. So, cue the time lapse. Right, so you know when we're back into the resto work, when the old welding jacket comes on, let's get to it. first off, let's check out this panel a little bit and see just how bad it really was. So you can see when you flip it over, so I started to drill all the spot welds in the end, the ones I could get to, but obviously I think I could get most of them, and then all of that's rotten, as you can see. But you can see how far the rust was going down. It was nearly at the boot latch, and you can see along the back edge under the lights there, it needed to come out. It was definitely the right thing to do. So that can go over in the scrap pile after I've taken that little bracket off that I mentioned before. In the boot, I've cut out the rough shape of that and I've kept it as a template so we can repair that. This, thankfully, I've just hit it so hard, it's surface rust, so we are okay completely over this side, so we're going to leave all that. Boot floor itself doesn't look horrendous. We have got these Magnum repair panels, and I'll be honest, we did this back in James's car. They're not the nicest of panels, but James's needed all of that ledge. This one is probably just going to need the bumper lip again once the balance is off, so we'll do that. Just so thick with rust in this corner, so I thought I'd bring you in just how bad this side is. So all around here, to be fair, all around there, it's pretty decent. The actual mount itself is fine, absolutely fine. It's just what's underneath it and around it's gone. So we'll get the valance off, get the closer off, and go from there. I found a little hole in there which we'll have to take the wheel off and get in to repair, or get rid of some of the sealant and do it from the inside. Might be a bit easier. You can clearly see how big that hole is now. I've started to roughly cut it out, but that's quite a sizable hole. So my aim of moving out and building out is we'll repair this, repair that, and build out. That's where my head is. So that's how we're going to work for now. But progress is progress. I don't know how well this video will turn out, but progress is progress. They look horrendous when they look like this, the cars with no back end. But just take your time cutting and stuff like that. So this edge along here is going to need quite a bit of repair, so especially where it was rotting in the middle. All of this is surfaced and some of the spot welds are pulled. So what I'll do is I'll hammer and dolly it all back and then just tack it in and repair it. We're yet to know in this building if my spot welder works. Now I'd like my spot welder to work, purely because it's tidier, less messy, but we don't know yet. So what I might do at the end of this video is plug it in, have a quick see if it works. You never know. But yeah, all in all, it's actually this side I'm really happy with. This is savable, which I was worried that we're gonna have to put a parcel shelf in it, and it's not too bad. It just looks worse than it is now. Right, time for a clean up. Boom, that's better. So, where have we got up to and what have we learned? So, to begin with, that's the piece I chopped out of the boot floor there. I've kept it purely as a template, so we'll leave that there for now. In here, I'm going to make a piece to go in there. Same with that, same with that. And I did find a little bit of rot there, which I couldn't ignore, so I went poking. So a tiny little sliver of metal needs to go into that. That's the boot floor. So how I got the valance off, like mentioned, I'm not going to sit there drilling spot welds, and I will show you for why. How the hell am I meant to find any of them? There was absolutely not a cat in hell chance that I was going to find any spot weld there to drill. So what I've done, I ran a disc all the way through there, along that's basically where the boot floor meets, behind these wiring loom tabs. So we've kept them, all the factory ones, which is cool, otherwise I'd have to make them put them back in. Kept all the holes. Then my plan, got to have a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim back all this in the next episode, or I'll probably do it off camera. We'll get the back panel to fit where we want the back panel to fit. So the people that have already started to type in the comments, I have done my measurements. So I've got a windscreen aperture measurement there, I've just written it on the car. Then we can work around. Mine's measured 36mm in all the points I've measured. So where I've written it is where I've measured. So if anyone needs that information, that is what this one was. I will tell you now, that's different to the last one I did, give or take a few millimeters, but they're not all the same. But I've done that just purely we know the window's going to fit again. So what we're going to do is get the back panel to fit, and then we're going to clamp the valance to the back panel, and then we're going to slide that boot floor repair in there. And then what we'll do is we'll begin with all these repairs and this boot lip. So then we've got everything to put the two bigger panels back in. You with me? Good. While you're with me, make sure you go and check out our sponsor Minimine. There's a discount code on the screen now for 10% off when you spend £15 or more on an eBay store. So go check them out. It's a good way of helping the channel. And obviously you're gonna need bits and bobs and stuff like that. I know that Pete Mate buys a lot from Minimine because he's got multiple mini projects, which I'm sure we'll see on the channel eventually. But I know, you know, he's very impressed. There's just one guy there that's very impressed with how quickly stuff gets delivered and what's on the shelf ready to rock and roll. So make sure you go and check them out, guys. Discount code on the screen, like mentioned. So the last thing I wanted to do before we clock off, one thing to note, I've managed to get that off. I just drilled out the spot welds, so I have to put that into the new panel. That's not an issue, but I didn't want to forget. And also, we wanted to play with the spot welder, didn't we? And it works. So, winner. So people that ask me for what brand this spot welder is, it's called a Spotmatic. So there's no settings on it, you can't adjust anything. It's purely a welder. I'm going to buy some longer tips for it, I think, though, because it'd be really handy for some other projects. The biggest reason I wanted to use spot welder more is it just keeps all dust and dirt, actual MIG welding to a minimum. So the only bit of MIG welding I've actually got to do on this car is putting that lip back in. Everything else is going to be spot welded. That's the plan. We will see. If not, it's bug welds, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so we're there. I'm going to part this video just right here. It's a real good start on this car, and it's a mammoth task done. All the dirty work's now kind of done. Everything's just trimming up and putting new panels in now. So hopefully in the next episode, we'll see how far we get. Like I mentioned, there's going to be 2, maybe 3 episodes on this car now until it goes off for paint. But I think in the next episode, we'll get the panels mocked and hopefully get all the boot floor repairs done. Unless I get a chance, I might just do the boot floor repairs and time lapse it all for you guys. Like I say, I do really need the space back in this unit, and I want to just get on with some other bits and pieces. So I really want this off for paint and my work done, basically. So there's going to be a couple of episodes coming up. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. What would you like to see on the channel? And yeah, whatever. Just comment whatever you want. Not bothered. Just comment, engage. I love it. Catch you soon, guys. Thank you very much for watching.